already see what's wrong.
For years, Earl Vickers Jr. ran his own business as a
Dealer and repairman.
He collected, sold, and repaired clocks for people all over the state of North Carolina.
I've worked on hundreds of clocks for people.
Before he got his education on clock repair in Pennsylvania, though, he got an undergraduate degree at Elon College. Turn the clock back 52 years, and Earl Vickers is preparing for his graduation. Another 25 years before that is when Vickers was born. The house he was born in was replaced by apartments for students attending Elon University. This marks one of the many changes that Elon College, now university, has undergone throughout its almost 125-year history. Set the clock to 1891, 2 years after Elon was founded, and you will find a small graduating class of 10 students. Henry C. Simpson, Earl Vickers' grandfather, was one of those students. It was at Elon where Vickers' grandfather met his wife, thus starting a family trend at Elon.
4 generations of the family met their husbands and wives there.
November 1958, Earl Vickers approached Ann Joyce for the first time.
I was studying in a library, and he and his friend came in. They were cruising around looking for girls. And so his friend said, "There's one, why don't you ask her?"
Vickers remembers that fall night in the library when he was looking for a date.
Find somebody to go somewhere, a movie or something that night, and she happened to be it.
So from then on, here we are 50-some years later.
And in those 5 decades, a lot has changed. Ann recalls how different the dress code was compared to now.
Ladies did not wear slacks.
Ann accounts some of this difference in lifestyle to the fact that Elon College was run through the United Church of Christ at the time. This change was instituted when the Congregational Christian Church and the Evangelical and Reformed Church merged in 1957. At that time in the 1950s, going to church was a requirement. We heard from the Vickers who live here that life was different at Elon in the late 50s. But turn the clock forward 20 years, dress code loosens up a little bit, chapel is no longer required. But the one thing that remains constant is that the campus is always changing. The Vickers' next door neighbor was a tour guide in the 70s, and he can't even imagine giving a tour today.
No, I wouldn't even try to attempt something like that now.
As a tour guide, Osborne came in contact with a lot of students, but not nearly as many as he would have if he attended Elon University.
When I applied at Elon, I was told at the time that Elon was less than 2,000 students and would probably never be any more than 2,000.
President Fred Young had a lot to do with not only the growth, but also making the campus as beautiful as possible.
Fred Young had made a comment that anywhere students walk, if they're going to walk that way, they're going to automatically walk that way, put a brick walk there, you know.
Clearly, many things have changed throughout the last half-century at Elon. The question now is, what change will the future bring? Only time will tell. Jimmy Stevenson, Elon Local News.